Hey, my name is Patrick, and today I'm going to talk about Wimbledon. And Wimbledon is supposed to be the most prestigious, respected, and hardest tennis tournament to win. So, for example, in 1877, which is 143 years ago, it was the first ever Wimbledon played and founded. At this time, Ulysses Grant was the American president, and William G. Morgan, who invented volleyball, was born. Imagine how long a time ago that is and how this event has been going on for 143 years. 200 people came to watch 22 men play against each other. Since it was only a rich sport and a gentleman's sport, no other could no other could attend the tournament. So this tennis tournament and all other tennis tournaments for that matter requires a lot of work, especially now with crowds getting bigger, stadiums getting bigger. Um, it's just a lot more work to do. So, because this is the oldest major tournament in the world, it is seen as not only by players but also by the spectators, um, as well as the most prestigious tournament. The tournament was played on grass, and because it's the only surface they had in the 1870s, they played on, and it has been a tradition since. But I'll come back to that later. So, first, excuse me. First, I would like to talk about what a Grand Slam is. So, a Grand Slam is a major tournament where there exist four kind of these tournaments, or four kind of Grand Slams. A Grand Slam tournament is held in four different places each year at the same time. The first one, the first Grand Slam of the year, is held in January in Australia and is called the Australian Open. The second Grand Slam afterwards is held in May in France and is called Australian Open. Oh, sorry, it's called French Open, also called Roland Garros. The third Grand Slam is in late June, early July, and is called Wimbledon. And the last one, the fourth Grand Slam, is held in August and is called US Open. The Grand Slams are the biggest and the most important tournament each year. The Grand Slam have the most ranking points, highest prize money, and public and media attention. It is also played as a five-set, which is the only four tournaments throughout the whole year that has that format. Australian Open, US Open is played on hardcourt surface, French Open is played on clay surface, and Wimbledon is played on grass surface. The first time we could ever win a Grand Slam was in 1924, 1925, where all the tournaments were announced as a Grand Slam by the International Tennis Lawn Federation, which is the same one who founded Wimbledon in the 70s. So now that we have established what a Grand Slam is, I can explain more about Wimbledon and why it's the most prestigious, respected, and hardest Grand Slam to win. So Wimbledon has a lot of traditions, rules that other Grand Slams do not have. For example, clothing and equipment are one of the biggest traditions in Wimbledon history. So it is stated at Wimbledon's official webpage that all clothing for both men and women must be all white, where off-white and cream does not include. For example, I took this shirt on today to show you that this is the white that you have to color or that you have to wear. So for example, a brand such as Nike, Adidas logos, it can be colored, but it has to be within 1 centimeter. So for example, you can barely see this is 1 centimeter. So this is the only logo size you can wear. The rule also includes shoes this rule also includes shoes, other visual equipment, such as caps, sweatbands, and so on. The next very big tradition is the ball boys and ball girls. The ball boys and the ball girls was a tradition since 1920s. So it was stated at the Wimbledon website that ball boys and ball girls must undergo weekly training, and only 160 are selected from about 540, where about 90 of these are chosen from the previous year. This is the only tournament who has trained ball boys and ball girls. So Wimbledon servings are one of the biggest traditions in Wimbledon as well. It is said that strawberries were offered even back in the 1877s and was a signal for arrival of summer. Strawberries are offered when watching the tournament and was first served as a tradition in 1953. So, strawberries and cream always go together. So cream was added in 1970 to the strawberry, if of course you wanted it. The royal family plays a big role in tradition at Wimbledon as well. Wimbledon is the only tournament which is patronized by a royal family. The Queen of Britain, it is stated as well that Queen of Britain is a sponsor of the All England club, where Wimbledon is played. The royal family has their own royal box, so that's where they sit, and no one else can sit in their place. So lastly, Wimbledon is the only Grand Slam played on grass. Well, yeah, Wimbledon is the only Grand Slam played on grass, but French Open is also the only Grand Slam played on clay. So what is so special about Wimbledon being played on grass? So since the tournament got founded in 1877, it has always been played on grass, which is the original surface, which French Open has not always been. A grass surface has the least tournaments throughout the year, and are also considered the hardest to play on. So just to review and conclude my points, my statements, that today I've shared my knowledge about what a Grand Slam is and what it exists of, and I've shared the tradition and rules that Wimbledon has. So, which the other Grand Slams does not have. The statements of the age of the tournament, the surface, and the tradition at Wimbledon comes to a conclusion that Wimbledon is the most prestigious tournament since it's the oldest one, and most respected tournament because of its traditions, and lastly, it's the hardest tournament to win because of its surface.